Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sitrep podcast. I'm your host today, Oriskany Jim, and we are back for the conclusion of a recent game of Valor Victory Modern Expansion played between myself and my friend Dylan. So Valor Victory, as you know, is the great squad-based infantry combat system developed by Barry Doyle for use in pretty much any scenario you can think of in World War II. What I've done is added a modern expansion which allows you to take the Valor and Victory system into more recent decades and conflicts. So this game in particular takes place during the Vietnam War, specifically right after the infamous Tet Offensive in 1968. So as you all know probably, the Tet Offensive hits the United States forces in South Vietnam along with all of their allies very, very hard all across the country. This attack is spearheaded by the North Vietnamese Army, or People's Army of Vietnam if you prefer, and even more so by the National Liberation Front, or Viet Cong if you prefer. So one of the spots in this Tet Offensive that really got, it was violent everywhere, but where it got really, really intense and an incredible amount of damage and casualties were inflicted was right in these major U.S. headquarters forces in places near what they used to call Saigon. Of course, now it's Ho Chi Minh City. But we're talking about places like Tan Son Nhut Airport, Long Binh, and Bien Hoa, sort of that central headquarters and infrastructure area of what they called a Second U.S. Field Force. As powerful and as devastating as these communist assaults have been, nevertheless, they have been resolutely defeated, and they are now withdrawing, quite frankly, as fast as their feet will carry them, away from these big American units that have shot the hell out of them. The problem for these escaping communist units is that their withdrawal is being blocked in several places by all kinds of other elements converging on the battle zones, in particular in this area, elements of 1st Australian Task Force. In our game today, specifically 2nd Royal Australian Regiment. They are moving out of their normal area of operations in the Phuoc Toi province into places like Vung Tau and Long Lei. And they're moving northwards and westwards into these interdiction zones, again, just outside of Saigon. So now, parts of the Viet Cong, especially main force battalions of 9th Viet Cong Division, are attempting to fall back. They're finding their escape blocked by Australians, and we all know nobody fights harder than a cornered and wounded animal. So these Australians who are blocking the Viet Cong escape, they have a lot on their plate. So far, we have completed 3 turns of this game, and we were using a special mechanic where both sides had a lot of dummy counters and a lot of screened units, sort of a poor man's double-blind mechanic, where neither player, even though we didn't have a referee or 2 maps or anything like that, nevertheless, neither player knew precisely where his opponent's forces really were. We had to get close enough with dummy counters and then make spotting checks and so on. Long story short, take your first shot. After a lot of sneaking through the jungle, a lot of triggered booby traps, and a lot of other problems, we finally started to come to grips with each other, and by the end of turn 3, things started to get hairy in a big, big hurry. As we start turn 4, we're going to see one Australian platoon in particular under command of Lieutenant Simpson. He finds himself a little too far ahead of the rest of his company, and he's up against, all by himself pretty much, an entire company of a Viet Cong main force battalion. He's in some heavy shit. So let's see if he can pull it out and save the day. Okay guys, we are now in Viet Cong turn 4. No more sneaking around, no more hide and go seek. It just got nasty in a really big way. So I had nothing really to do with my command phase because I don't really have any off-board assets. I didn't want to reorganize any stacks. We went straight to the Viet Cong fire phase. The only unit I chose to fire were my mortars here under Captain Binh, and the luck finally turned. Nothing spectacularly brilliant on my part. I just rolled a 3 on 2d6. Again, you like to roll low in this game. So a 3 on 2d6 is a fantastic roll. I dropped a mortar shell like right in the middle of a crate of grenades or something. Who knows what. Something in here blew up. It took 6 casualty points, which is a lot. That's going to knock down 2 full squads from 6 casualty points down to 3 casualty points. So for people who may not be familiar with this game, how that works is this is your casualty rating number. It's the last number on the counter. And when you suffer a certain number of casualty points, you have to take that many casualty points off the table. So he took 6 casualty points. He had 2 of these 10-6-6 units in here. He reduced them both to half, which is where we get the 3s from. All right, so with my fire phase done, these guys moved. I'm trying to hook around D9, E9, so when I do launch the assault, I'm inside a tree hex. The problem is for me, he does see me in Delta 9. He gets to open fire immediately. Do you want to fire with all your units, or...?
With everyone, yep.
Okay, cool. Counted it up, you got a grand total of 28 points here in the stack. You get to apply a -1 because of your commander. Opportunity fire in the open applies another -1 regardless of range. So you get to apply a total of -2 to your dice. Roll 2 dice as low as you possibly can.
You're not going to believe it, Jim. It's a double 1.
Okay, so Snake Eyes on 28 is 8. Technically you rolled a 0, but the chart doesn't go that low. 8 casualty points. Okay, I'm going to drop the RPD, the PKM. That's 4, that's 2, and now this guy gets reduced to 2. In order for me to assess my total 8. So I'll make a quick little bit of change there. Alright, cool. I'm going to go ahead and put a fire counter on you because you have done enough damage for the immediate time being. So, 1 point, 2 movement points, 3, 4 movement points. That assault is still going in, although I don't like its chances now. Okay, now, the fun part. You are going to see if you can roll, see if any of these guys become valorous. You have to roll 2d6, you have to get on or beneath your casualty rating, which isn't great. However, you are elite, so you get a +1 for that, and you have a -1 officer, you get a +1 for that. Basically, the officer has to roll a 8 or less to become valorous.
He rolled a 6.
Okay, he becomes valorous. I will pin a little, what do Australians have? They have a military cross, or a distinguished service cross like the British, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's all, basically just British awards.
Cool. So he's got it, and that does have game effects. Okay, now these guys have to roll their casualty rating or under on 2d6. It's not great, but then they get 2 +1s. 1 for being elite, 1 for the officer. So you have 3 chances to roll a 5 or less.
Okay, first one. No.
Okay, second one.
A 4.
He got it. All right. And the third one?
A 5.
Ooh, you got 2 elite squads in here now. You know what, though? I'm going for it, because the hell with this game. I just want to put myself out of my misery. The good news is, again, he's still pretty vulnerable, because all these other units, he may want to reveal A as a real unit or not. I don't know if A really is a real unit. That's going to be important. If A is a real unit, he stands a chance. But right now, I'm going to push out with this other platoon. We're going to assault as well. So E can't see me because of G11. A can see me if A is a real unit for more opportunity fire.
Yeah, probably a good time to tell you that A is a real unit.
Damn it, I was hoping it was.
My last platoon.
Alrighty, so A is these guys. Oh god, I just walked into another huge hailstorm of opportunity fire. Hopefully he won't roll 2 again. Okay, so are you shooting all of your units or just part of that, or?
Let's just shoot the 2 full squads with the officer.
Okay, so we got a grand total of 29. That gets you right onto the yellow row. I see what you did there. At -2. So you're on the yellow row, -2. At your convenience.
Yep. I got a 5.
5
goes down to a 3.
Goes down to a 3, 8 more casualty points. So there's another unit annihilated. Why are you trying to kill all my guys at once? Because, guys, if he doesn't, he gets assaulted, and if I assault and I actually capture casualty markers, that's like ×4 victory points to the Viet Cong player. That's why he's fighting so hard to defend this hex. It's also why I'm attacking it so hard. Speaking of which, 1, 2, 3, I don't think there's any more opportunity fire.
Just that 1 half squad there.
Okay, that's true. So 5, he does not get to subtract anything. You know what? Quick 2-second correction. The guy was in a rice paddy.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So he does get a slight bonus for that. Meanwhile, this whole stack is rushing in. All right, then we have 5. No penalties. In fact, you have to add 1 to the roll because you are shooting into a rice paddy.
Yep.
All right, so 5 points. You're on the white row. Add 1 to your 2d6.
A 7 goes to an 8.
That was a miss. There's 2 infantry units in there. That means I can put in 2 more. I'm going for broke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Yeah, so my sapper's going in there as well. Make sure that stack is still legal. That is a grand total. That's 1 infantry unit, 2 infantry units, 3 infantry units, 4 infantry units. That is my sapper. That's the girl carrying the satchel charge. So that's it for my movement. I try to spot E with this unit right here. And I do succeed. Is E a real unit? No, it wouldn't be.
E is not a real unit.
Yeah, okay,
No.
cool. Now we're gonna have to do the mother of all assault phases. Oh my god. My god. So what's really messed up is I dropped that lucky mortar shell in here, and I wiped out half its platoon, but then the half that was left basically doubled because of Valor's units, at least as far as assaults go. Okay, so Hero Simpson is worth 4. This guy is worth 5 only. We have to start writing this down. 36 is what I get.
Yep.
Oh, are you throwing in any grenades or satchel charges?
I'll be throwing in a lot of grenades. Yes.
Okay, you can throw in up to... Now, you got 2 more assaults coming.
Yes. So who's the first assault?
I'm coming in with my strongest stack.
Yeah, I'll throw all 4 grenades.
Okay, we're just completely committing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, actually, I've got a satchel charge.
Yeah, so 3 grenades
3
in the
grenades.
satchel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will also throw in 3 grenades on a satchel charge. The satchel charge is already there. Oh my god, this is chaos. It's going to be a short game, folks.
There's a lot of loud noise.
Yeah, this is every Vietnam movie you've ever seen just happening all at once. Oh dear lord. Okay, so I got 8 and 2. That's 10. Those 2 do not get to help, or that guy does not get to help. So that's 10, 12, 16, and another 16 becomes 32.
I've got my satchel charge, so I'll go up to 52.
Okay, well that blows that out of the water then. 52 to 32. Okay, now I'm closer. In other words, now you're closer to 64 than 32. Now it would go to 1 to 2 odds. All right, cool. So I'm definitely now at 1 to 2 odds. I have a leader. You have a -1 leader. So no changes there. And then we're each throwing in 3 grenades. So no modifiers there. I am now just at 1 to 2 with no net modifiers. Oh my god, I have to roll a 5 or less on 2d6. If I do, I'm going to do this on camera. We are recording, right? Yes. Here we go. If this works, that's pretty much the game. The Viet Cong have won the game. But what's the chance of rolling 5 or less on 2d6? It's like 1 out of... It's like 30% or something like that. Here we go. Say your prayers. Uncle Ho! Help us! 5 or less on 2d6. Do it! Hell no, that is a failed assault. Okay, so failed assault means I lose casualty points equal to number of infantry units in the defending hex, number of terrain modifiers, so 2 for woods, and the number by which I whiffed the roll. I just lost 9 casualty points. 2, 4, there's only 7 casualty points in the hex. All this is annihilated. Okay, now, your casualty points, you have to suffer, God bless, you suffer nothing.
Because the Valorous.
Yeah, because of Valorous. Okay, so the way it works, folks, is you suffer 1 casualty point per infantry unit that just attacked you. These guys did not participate, so they do not count towards that total. 3 infantry units went in there. So normally this is where you would chew it down, because then I assault them again with Toan Thang, and then I assault them again with Dinh Xuan. The problem is, he only took 3 casualty points, and every Valorous unit gets to ignore 1 casualty point. So he has 3 Valorous units in that hex. Becomes 3 casualty points absorbed. I did net nothing. Oh god, this is literally just madness. These guys are totally going home with Victoria Crosses, man. Unless I roll a 4. Do it! Do it! I came close. Okay. And there were 4 infantry units in that attack. You actually do have to take a casualty point now.
I'll pin a half squad.
Okay, I'm assuming a non-valorous one?
Yeah, non-valorous, yep.
Okay. Then the next assault goes in. Automatically, pin unit is destroyed.
Yep.
So now I've done a little bit of casualties to him. Now we do the assault. So now I'm at 1 to 3. Oh my god, what am I doing? I have no more grenades to throw in.
I'll throw the last 2, just so I don't get captured.
Just so you don't get captured. Okay, now I have to roll a 1 or less on 2d6. I'm not sure I can do that. A 2 does always succeed. So I literally have to roll snake eyes here. Oh god, this is kind of absurd. Hell no. They have to roll by 9, so they're like beyond toast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's only 2 infantry units in there. You have to take 2 more casualty points. You've got 3 Valorous units in there. That, folks, is how you lose a Valor and Victory game in one phase. Now, where I might get lucky, there is no medic in this stack. So when we get to the end of his phase, folks, so if he fails evacuation rolls and then he fails bleed-out checks, I do get double XP for that. I'm not going to win the game, but the score might be closer than you think. Again, this is Valor and Victory Modern Expansion. Very asymmetrical conditions. He gets 1 point per half squad, he knocks out. I get 4 points for every one of his squads I knock out. So I've already got 12 points there. And if I either capture them or they bleed out, that becomes 8 victory points. So depending on the circumstances, the kill ratio in the game has to be 8 to 1 for the Australian player to even break even. Problem is, I'm pretty sure he's going to call in some mortars and gunships now. And hopefully we'll be able to wrap this thing up on turn 4, because I don't want to play turn 5. We'll see if Dylan can destroy me on his turn 4, which begins in just a second. Okay, folks, we are now beginning Australian turn 4, which I hope will be the end of this game, because I want to quit so bad. It's not even funny. But I won't be cheesy. So the beginning of the turn is Australian command phase offboard assets. So like I said at the beginning of the video, he does have a gunship strike. It's probably a UH-1H Hog. And 3 offboard mortars. So call in as much as you want. You just have to be able to see the hex with the confirmed target, and it can't have civilians in it.
Let's put the helicopter strike on your CO.
Okay. Okay, do you want to put any other mortars, or your...
The 1 mortar each on the 2 squads in front of me, in
gotcha.
F9 and G10.
Ooh, if they drift and they land on your guys, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Light barrage, does it land where it's supposed to?
Yes, it does.
Okay, on 1d6. Helo strike, 1 through a 5.
Oh, yes, it does, yeah.
Okay. Okay, here on Foxtrot 9, does that work?
Yes, they hit.
Okay, and Golf 10.
Hits as well. Yeah.
All right, cool. So everything landed where it was supposed to. All right, cool. Okay, Helo strike comes in. It lands here on the fighter bomber check. So, long story short, too late. Roll 2d6 and tried to, and you have to add 2 to the die roll for my woods.
Yes. I got a 7, goes to a 9.
Becomes a 9. That is 1 casualty point from the machine guns and rockets. I will pin my half squad that is not operating. Okay, now the light barrage comes in. Again, you have to add 2, and it's on an even better row. And they are considered mortars, and we are resolving them separately. So any mortars will double against my woods for airburst.
Yes. A 5 goes to a 7.
5 goes to a 7, which becomes 4 casualty points, which becomes 8 casualty points. There aren't 8 casualty points in there. Smoked. Yeah. Boom. And last but not least, okay, this guy, no +2, but it doesn't double. Is the trade-off, because he's in an open rice paddy. All right, so on the yellow row, roll 2d6.
An 8 plus 1 goes to a 9.
That's right, he does get a +1 for rice paddy cover. It's 2 casualty points. I'm not going to pin them both because you're just going to assault me if I do that. So they die, and he stands there ready with his pistol. All right, and then same roll down here. This little half squad.
A 6 goes to a 7.
6 goes to a 7 is 4 casualty points. There's only 2 casualty points in there. Yeah, that's the Viet Cong pretty much tabled. My entire company is down to 2 officers and 4 men. Oh, sorry. There is a full squad down there. So 12 men. So, yeah, not much. Okay, then we go to your direct fire phase.
Yes, the Valorous unit is going to wipe out poor Commando.
Okay, I'm just going to take him off the board, because...
Yeah, he died.
All right, then I don't think you have any other targets, so then we go to your movement phase.
Okay. Part of me wants to bayonet charge the Viet Cong. Probably a bad idea. They're on an objective hex. So let's bayonet charge the Viet Cong.
1, 2, 3, 4. The only way to do it is to civilians. This is what. Okay. You can do it if you assault out of the civilian hex. 1,
Yeah, it's probably
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Problem is they count as a stacking point,
yes.
so you can't take in the whole stack. You can take in the whole stack if you come right down the gut, right down the throat.
So I'll leave behind a half squad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll leave behind a half squad and let's go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. I am now going to go ahead and shoot my opportunity fire. Okay. That is going to be -1 for my leader, -2 for point blank opportunity fire, +2 for woods. So I wind up with a -1. I only have 13 points. So 13 points. I'm on the gray row. -1. I get a modified 3.
Oh, that's bad.
So that is going to be 6 casualty points. The civilians count as 2 if you let it.
It won't make a difference, so I'll lose 2 half squads.
Okay, so you are not using the civilians as human shields. You
No,
technically don't lose victory points for that because you're not the one killing them. I am. This, by the way, if our situations were reversed, absolutely illegal.
Yes.
The First World Forces are not allowed to shoot into civilian hexes. In an extreme case like this, they can, but you bet damn well sure the Viet Cong are going to assign the first 2 casualty points against the civilians. And that is -8. No, it's 1 casualty counter. Yeah, -8 victory points against you.
Just in case anyone thinks I care about the civilians, if I take a civilian casualties off and then lose a half squad and then pin a half squad, it's basically the same as just going on with the 2 half squads. So yeah, I'll just lose 2 half squads.
All right, I'm closing the gap, guys. A few more rounds like this and I'll win this game. Except not really. Cool, so we go straight to the assault. Holy mackerel. Okay, neither of us have any grenades left. I am in a building. Buildings are +2 in this game. Valor Victory players, I know you guys say it's a +3. This is a bamboo hut, so it's not the same as a French stone church. So I usually only charge 2 for buildings. All right, so I have a total of 8, and 6 is 14. You have a total of 10, 17, 21. Here's where he might throw the game away, folks. He's got to get lucky here.
Yeah.
He's got to get lucky here because he's got no grenades. We both have -1 leaders. He's assaulting into a hooch. He's got to roll a 6 or less on 2d6.
We got a 5.
Oh, he did make it. All right, so that is going to be 1, 2, 3 units eliminated, which means you have to take 1, 2, 3, because I didn't have time to split this unit into 2 pieces. So that's just going to be 3, +2 for the building. You have to take 5 casualty points.
Yep. I'm going to have to lose a half squad and then pin both of the others.
All right. Would you rather lose the... almost doesn't matter at this point. Would you rather lose the blooper or the M16?
Let's lose the blooper. Not that it matters.
Boonk, boonk. All right, so everybody's rallied. Now we just have to see. You did have one non-pinned unit in there. Roll a 7 or less if you can to evacuate this guy.
A 5.
Okay, he successfully dusted off. Because all these guys, for people in the chat, or for people watching on YouTube, all these guys do have first aid training, clearly. They're just not medics. Okay, next. These guys. Simpson's in there as well. And you've got a total of 3 units in there. So you get 3 chances at an 8 or less to evacuate these 3 casualties.
Okay, first one. A 6.
Yep.
Second one. A 9.
Okay, he is stuck there. Next, the third one.
6.
Okay,
6.
he made it. I think that was it for your casualties, right?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so these 3 casualties, again, they still count, but they're only 4 points apiece. Okay, so now the ones that are left, we have to make bleed out checks for. So real quick, you have to not roll a 5 or a 6 on 1d6.
Okay. A 4.
Okay, he's still with us over here.
A 4.
He's hanging on. This guy right here.
A 3.
Okay, he's good to go. All right, so technically, he's up here now all by himself, but he owns that trailhead. You guys are down here. He heads into this X again on turn 5. You now automatically evacuate him. All right, here, again, 2 chances in an 8 to evacuate these last 2.
First one, a 9.
Nope.
Second one, a 7.
He does. So roll a bleed out check on your very last casualty.
A 3.
He's okay. And then on turn 6, you'll get him out of there. All right,
Yep.
So there were no bleed outs, no captures. I don't even know if we want to try to figure out what the score of this absolute massacre was. But I did do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did do 7 times 4 is 28 points. I did actually score some damage. Now, how much damage did you do to me? I would literally just have to check my beginning total because you tabled me, honestly. So you did 27, you suffered 28, and then it's usually like 3 to 5 points per victory hex. You've got all the victory hexes. So yeah, you would win. Well, we'll say it was 4. So 4 times 5 is 20, plus 27 is 47 points versus my 28 points. So yeah, clearly the Australians won, but you can see where in casualties, you did 27 points worth of casualties to me. I did 28 versus you, 7 times 4.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll be honest, Dylan. You got away with it, but this was kind of a mistake.
Yep.
I mean, not really because A was there. A turned out to be a real unit, but I was like, okay, if A is not a real unit, damn, is Simpson gone? Because I'm going to assault him with an entire company of Viet Cong, and you're never going to hear from any of those guys again. They're all going to wake up in a basement in Hanoi somewhere. But hey, it turned out not to be the case. So, and then of course it helps when you roll 2 on opportunity fire, and
Yes.
half your force is now Valor's. So, any last thoughts, Dylan, before we close it out?
No, thanks, Jim. Vietnam's always a lot of fun, and Valor Victories is great. We've had a whole bunch of games of it, and they're all different. So this was first time using the double blinds, and it was a lot of fun.
Yep. So Valor and Victory, people in the audience, again, you can download it for free on Board Game Geek. If you're interested in my Modern Expansion, which again has been approved by Barry Doyle, before I publish it, I sent it to him. I said, take a look, and he double thumbs up from the man himself. Reach out to us on our Discord. Link will be in the description to this video, and download it and see if you like it. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and close it out. Tango Mike for listening as always. We are rounds complete. This is Oriskany Jim signing off for the Sitrep podcast, and we'll be in touch very soon. Thanks again, everybody, and take care.